So guys, this episode is brought to you today by Scottish Grappling. Scottish Grappling doing events throughout Scotland, whether it be competition events or even submission only events, as well as the submission only tournaments as well. So obviously the different events that you can see throughout the year. Next event's going to be the SGI 6. Very stacked card. It's going to be on the 9th of November, Saturday the 9th of November. In the usual place in Maryhill. Again, you can go onto the Facebook page, Scottish Grappling Facebook page, and get more information on that. Tickets are available for the event. You can buy tickets through Eventbrite, through the Scottish Grappling Facebook page. You can take advantage of single tickets, group tickets, and things like that. You will be able to pay on the door, but you will not be able to take advantage of any of the group tickets. As they are only available on the Eventbrite page. So I think with the tickets you're getting 5 for the price of 4. So £100 for 5 tickets. Ticket prices are normally £25 single priced. So that'll be SGI 6, a very, very stacked card, as I said, as well as the tournament event. So they're going to crown another champion at SGI 6. The event after that will be the Glasgow Open. The Glasgow Open will be the last event of the year. As far as I know, it's either at capacity or it's very near capacity. I think there was only about 17 spaces left, literally about a week ago, so more than likely the last remaining slots will be taken up now, so the chances are this will be at capacity. With that, it's a gi only event, so obviously it should be less time than obviously your full competition gi and no gi, so hopefully we'll be done a little bit earlier than usual. And it's an elimination event, so each fighter should get a minimum of 2 fights in their division. Obviously if divisions maybe where there's only one person or something like that, then more than likely they'll be merged into other different categories, whether it be age category, weight category, and things like that. So and again, more information about that on the Scottish Grappling Facebook page. James McIntyre regularly updates as well on the Scottish BJJ community page, so again keep an eye out for that. And there is also cash prizes available for this as well at all the different weight classes. So again, have a look on the Scottish Grappling page or even the Scottish Jiu-Jitsu community page. As I said, James McIntyre, he has been updating how much the cash prizes are for each of the different categories. So guys, listen, thanks for listening. So hi guys, welcome to StoomCast. So today I'm joined by Nathaniel Montgomery. Nathaniel is a purple belt under Garry, Christie, Paul McVeigh at the GripHouse. And anybody that's seen Nate at the competitions, absolutely brilliant competitor. I remember when you were a blue belt, everybody was tipping you were like one of the top blue belts in Scotland, do you know what I mean? So also with the UK as well, so had a good run, and obviously not long started his run at purple belt, obviously successful in that as well. So listen, thanks for obviously taking the time
no
to
problem.
speak to me.
Thanks for having me on, man.
But I visited the GripHouse today, so I thought I'd come up for a few rolls before. Got my ass kicked. So I did alright, I think the first couple of rolls, and then obviously rolled with you, got my ass kicked, rolled with a couple of the other guys. So, but it was good experience, always love coming here. You guys are always nice, so it's always a pleasure to come up.
Down. It's always nice, just getting people from different gyms, getting different roles, and you just get used to the same people, and it ends up sometimes just becoming the same round. And after a while, you can just get bored. And you're like,
But you were doing well. I watched you a few of your rolls today, doing absolutely brilliant. Obviously, you were rolling no gi today, so
I pretty much only roll no gi now. I mean, like the last time I think I rolled in the gi was competing, which was like back in February.
I think that was the picture we had up, so I think it was Dean said that was probably the last time you were in a gi.
So. It's just like, sometimes I'll chuck it on for comps just to make weight, because otherwise making medium heavy, like I can't be bothered cutting. It's just not worth it. And now that they've changed the whole weigh-in, still is it right before you go on the mat? That's a nightmare.
It's a bit of a nightmare, especially as a competitor. I mean, I remember the IBJJF's like that. I mean, if you go to that weigh-in before you step on the mat, and for a master, you're not fighting till like 3 and 4 in the afternoon.
Exactly.
So you're maybe not eating all day, and by the time you get to that, you're tired and stuff like that. So, I'd say I'm obviously glad to have you on. You were one of the guys as well. I've got a list of people who I want to speak to. So you're one of the guys that was on it, and when I met you at the buffet place, obviously you had Cammy there, so it was good to get the chance to obviously speak to you. So for you then, your jiu-jitsu, when did it start for you? How did it come about?
It was about 5.5 years ago. I was just Googling. I remember, like, it's funny, it was like, it's probably like nearly 19 years ago. I remember seeing Chris Benoit Kurt Angle in a submission only match and thinking, submissions look fun. Yeah. But at the time, just never thinking anything of it. And then I was at uni. I was just getting bored. I was just, I knew about MMA and Jiu-Jitsu. And I was like, I'll just Google it, see what it's about, and give it a try. And one of the first things that came up was the GripHouse. And I remember seeing on Reddit, it was just like a description of Gaz and Paul, which I thought was funny. It was like, someone's description of Paul was, Paul is, Gaz is really structured. He's like, he'll go into a lot of detail. Yeah. And then Paul, he'll go into these weird tangents about monkeys and superheroes. And I was like, that sounds like a good, a good fit, yeah. So I thought, I'll go over there, try the GripHouse. Yeah. And that's how I got into it. And as soon as I tried it, people's usual responses, loved it. Yeah. Just got hooked. Yeah.
And the grip's good. I've been up here a few times. Yeah. And it's always really good guys. I mean, the level that you guys up here is absolutely phenomenal. From white belt right through to obviously Garry, Paul and stuff like that, black belt. So, so for you when you came in, was that something you mentioned about obviously Googling it? Was that something you looked into first, or were you, as soon as you got here, you were able to see the level?
It was something. Pretty much when I came, I was able to see the level. I hadn't, apart from just a quick, search on Reddit about, and all that came up was about the coaches. Yeah. I didn't really know much about it. I just assumed even it was going to be in a small room or something. Like I remember seeing the picture of outside the building. Yeah. And I thought it'd just be in a small. And then I came and was so it's actually massive. Yeah. And then from there, like I remember, coming up through white belt, guys like Owen Campbell and Kieran Reid and that, and just like constantly getting smashed. It was fun because I didn't try any other gyms just because I didn't see any other come up. Yeah. So, and I just ended up enjoying it so much, like first, second class, from then on. And I thought it's a handy walk from. I used to live on Byers Road, so it was just like a 20-minute walk. Yeah. So it was just easy to get to. Yeah. Every day. And luckily at the time there were so many classes on throughout the day, and I was at uni, so I could pretty much just come and train. Whenever. Yeah. It was always suited.
And how often do you train?
Now it's every day apart from Fridays. Usually I'll take Friday off unless sometimes with work I have to work a Saturday. So I'll just train on the Friday, and then on the Saturday I'll just roll over at Cameron's IXL in Paisley. Yeah. And then otherwise it's always Friday will be a rest day and every other day training. Right.
And what was your initial thoughts? Because I remember when I first started Jiu-Jitsu, and which is probably the same as most people, rolling about with guys, sweating on guys and things like that. And then maybe put me off, because I remember going for 2 weeks and then stopping for a couple of weeks and saying, this is not for me, I'm not enjoying this. So, and then it was my wife actually said, look, go back, you'll enjoy it and stuff like that. So I went back, and here I am 5-6 years later. So what was your initial thoughts when you first came in?
I didn't think of it like that too much. I guess the first class I ever went to was on triangles, which at first kind of seems weird, and then I think it was useful though, having like such an important submission, and a submission as your first class, something that you can, it was that and omoplatas for the first 2 weeks I came, so it was easy to get involved. Whereas you see some people, they come for their first class, and it's like X guard or reverse del Hiva or something, and they're like, what the hell's going on? And it's just, it can be, just put them off, because they're like, I just don't understand what's going on. And for some people, I guess it won't seem effective. If your first class is X guard, you'd be like, how would I ever end up here? Yeah.
It's advanced position. So I was lucky when I started down at obviously GB. It was all basic jiu-jitsu. So they were taking you through the techniques. You had that fundamental program. So that's why I probably stayed. I learned the basics and things like that. So and then obviously to get more advanced, you need to move somewhere else. So so is that good for you? Obviously you've been able to stay at the one gym and go from obviously your basics right through. Because again, watching you today was absolutely brilliant to see you. I mean, you were rolling with brown belts and stuff like that. You were tapping them out and things like that. So with you being a purple belt, so is that important for you that you had that structure coming through?
Yeah, especially I think the first years it's good, you know, just to keep going to classes, just getting the basics in, and then eventually like just, you know, figuring stuff out on your own, watching stuff. I think sometimes at the start you can get overwhelmed with all these things that look really cool, and instead of just focusing on basics, you see stuff and you're like, oh, that looks amazing, I'm gonna try that, and then it doesn't end up actually being effective. It's like maybe like a few years down the line or something, but just learn, you know, concepts and fundamentals first.
Definitely. And then for you, when did you first start competing? What was it, white belt? So it was white belt.
I think it was probably a year after I started, or maybe just a bit after. I started competing. I'd always like after about 6 months I thought, I'll do it at some point, but I thought at the moment, like 6 months in, I just didn't feel like I was ready. I feel like I'd just be flailing about, which I probably was still doing after a year. But no, it was really good. It was actually Marcos who ran the comp. I can't remember what it's called, but it was a submission only comp. It was really good fun. I remember that, like the first match, you come out and you're like, what just happened? Do you remember the ending? Everything leading up to that, don't remember at all.
I was competing. Was that always something you wanted to do, or was that further into your?
I think further in. I think like at first I was just trying it, you know, see what it was like, and then within 6 months I was like, oh, this is really, sparring is so much fun. Competing must be great, and you see everyone else going off to compete, so I was like, oh, I'll give it a shot. And then ended up loving it.
And you're fortunate here because when you've got guys who compete all the time, different martial arts and things like that. Obviously, as soon as you walk in the door, you see the trophy cabinet with all the belts and stuff like that. So, and again, is that something that's important for you to have, that kind of people around you, or that kind of mentality, the competition mentality?
Yeah, it does help. Certainly, because you know, you need those certain roles where it's very competitive to get used to that style. Like it's always been good. I've always had Cameron. Like we pretty much started around the same time, and we were both wanting to compete. So we've always had that. You know, we can roll light and everything we need to if we're injured or that. But it's always good to just be able to go mental. And you've always, you know, you've started at the same time, so it's nice to see where you progress. You know, where you fail. It's really nice. And there's a good mix here of people who, you know, you can roll with someone who maybe they do it 3 times a week and they're not interested in competing, but you can always get something out of it if you tailor how you roll. You know, I'm not. If someone's just looking to train like twice a week, there's no point in me going in and just like trying to attack them as many times as possible. That neither of us get anything from that. It's nice to. I'll just try and work on something, even if it's bad positions. You can learn so much just from doing different things. I think for a long time I got caught in this rhythm of I need to win every round because I need to be as competitive as possible, and I just didn't. I just stopped learning. Like I became good at certain things, but overall my game just started, you know, regressing. That's quite a difficult one as well. I mean, because obviously, especially if you're a competitor, you want to come in, you want to win every round. But you're right. You get to a point where you're like, do you know what? Just let me come in and enjoy it, because as you said, you seem to learn more. If you're getting tapped 3 or 4 times in a round, you're learning from that. So, which a lot of guys when they start jiu-jitsu are exactly the same. Like your white belts and stuff like that come in and think we need to win everything. Like, you don't at all. So, and then obviously moving into blue belt, as I said again, you were one of the top blue belts in Scotland, maybe even the UK, just because obviously your competition record and the level of people you were beating and stuff like that as well. So again, coming into blue belt, how did you change? Did you change anything from when you were a white belt? What did you change to make you that way? So initially, when I first got my blue belt, I actually got injured and I dislocated my left knee, and it just was playing up for ages. So I took a couple of weeks off because I couldn't roll, and just ended up eating shitloads of food. I went from like middleweight to medium heavy. So my first come back was at medium heavy, and then I realized, oh, you know, it's actually not that bad being heavier. Why am I cutting all the time? So I went up a bit, and I think that helped a lot. Just realizing that I didn't have to kill myself all the time, like because a white belt, I was always trying to cut to. I remember I did an under 72 kg comp. That was my first one, and so I was always trying to cut as much weight as possible just to be in the lower brackets. And then as a blue belt, just accidentally, you know, by getting injured, I realized it's actually better if I'm just at my natural weight. I think training wise though, not much change. I started just playing around with more techniques. Like I would focus more on a certain technique for a while. At white belt, it was a lot more, chaotic, just going through loads of techniques as much as you can rather than focusing on one for a while, moving on to the next. I think that was probably the biggest change. And then ultimately, I ended up just getting so into no-gi. I stopped training in the gi, slowly phased it out, just stopped training it altogether.
So is that something you're going to be concentrating more on than no-gi stuff?
Yeah, definitely.
Will you one day put the gi back on?
Yeah, to compete. I don't even mind rolling it. I really enjoy I love watching lapel guard, everything like that. Especially you see guys in here, Shay, Mike, guys rolling. It's brilliant to watch them roll. I love that sort of stuff. But I prefer no-gi so much. Even I remember it was Callum Hunnett was saying to me he finds when he rolls in the gi his knees actually hurt more. And as soon as I stopped training in the gi, I realized, I see what he means. For whatever reason, my knees too stopped hurting more. I think it's something to do with just your heel can get trapped to your ass in the game when you try and violently kick out or just try and move it. For whether, especially my left knee, it just ends up putting so much stress on it. Whereas no-gi, it's so slippery. It's very easy to move your knees. So I'll probably end up competing again in the gi, but I won't train it. Really, won't roll much or drill in it much. Which isn't useful, but I need to make weight sometimes.
Definitely. Then competition, I had a few questions that was posted on one of the posts I put up, which it's never happened. Nobody asked me to ask anybody questions. And I always put up saying, look, if anybody's got any questions, let me know. But nobody ever asked questions, but there was about 3 people asking questions for you. So I think the first one was Jennifer Colleen was saying about New York. How was New York?
Oh, it's brilliant. I try and go over there at least twice. Luckily, this year I've been over 3 times, 2 weeks each time. I'm going over actually next week for 2 weeks. It's fantastic getting straight over there.
So who is it you train with over there?
Now I go to Henzo's.
Right.
It used to, the first time I went back in, I think it was 2016, I went to Marcelo's. And just because I remember wanting to go to Henzo's, and on the website had this weird policy about gis, and you had to wear their branded stuff.
Right, okay.
So I just assumed that was the case. And then it was on it was the day before Thanksgiving or something, and Marcelo's was closed and Henzo's was open. I was like, I'll just go along and find out. There's no harm in asking. And it turned out that stuff is just absolute bullshit, but they haven't updated their website in so long. So I was like, oh, well, after all that time, I could have been training here too. So then the next time I went back, I spent it was half and half. I'd do a morning class at Henzo's and a night class at Marcelo's. And now just whenever I go back there, for the last 2 years now, I just always go to Henzo's.
So what is it John Danaher? Go over train with them.
Classes,
You get the chance to roll with Gordon Ryan?
Oh yeah, they're all really open. They're really nice. They'll just, if you ask them for a role, I don't remember ever being turned down unless they've already got someone they want. Say I'm too good. Essentially, they'll roll with anyone. And getting to roll with them is fantastic. It's especially rolling with Gordon, the little effort he puts in, it's brilliant. He'll pin you in places and he's not using any strength. You just feel helpless. So it's so much fun going over there. You end up learning so much, even as just getting smashed by them guys. You learn so much, what not to do, what to do.
Definitely.
And they're always happy to help out. You ask them a question, they're absolutely they're so happy to answer your questions. It's
a good team as well over there. It's probably it's the best out there at the moment. So, so is that something again? How did the New York come about? So what made you go over there?
I remember there was Dean and Mike Auchincloss. They were always talking about it, and I had been to New York when I was younger. It was actually I went over for WrestleMania. I can't remember. I think it was 27. It was The Rock vs John Cena, whichever one that was. That and CM Punk vs The Undertaker. So I went over for that. And I didn't think I'd love New York as much as I did. I absolutely loved it. So I always knew I wanted to go back. And then when I heard Mike and Dean talking about, how great it is to train over there, I thought, that's just an excuse to get back over. So each year, I'll just pretty much all my money, I just save so I can end up going to New York as much as possible. And as I said, this year I've been lucky to go 3 times only because I broke my ankle last year, so I carried over my holidays to this year. Right. So I got to go 3 times.
Nice one. And for obviously New York. I mean, a lot of people seem to be going to New York now rather than going to Brazil.
Yeah.
Because of, obviously, you mentioned Marcelo, Henzo, John Danaher and things like that. So, is that something that you'll continue doing throughout your journey?
Yes, yeah, hopefully so. As long as, you know, I've got enough money to do it, there's no reason I won't go over. I love going over there. It's nice, you know, you get to train so much, so you can just eat so much food. And obviously there's so much variation. You can eat absolute shit if you want to. There's great places to eat, so it's always fun going over there. That's pretty much it. It's training and food. I love going over there for the food, but I'd always think like if I went over, got injured, I'd just be depressed because I wouldn't really be able to eat because I'd just end up putting on so much weight.
No, I remember that when I went to California, and I remember seeing all these places on the TV, Jack in the Box and Denny's and stuff like that, and thinking, oh fuck, there's a Jack in the Box, or there's a Denny's, or there's this place, and you were eating everything, and you were thinking, shit, I've got to make weight for the competition. And because of the heat and all that, especially in California and Las Vegas, I ended up walking in lighter than I ever was, yet I was eating all sorts of crap the whole week during, so it was good. I mean, America's absolutely brilliant. New York's one place that, for me, I want to go to.
Have you not been yet then?
Nah, I went to California. California, obviously, at that time is where the majority of GB gyms are. So you've got GB gyms all within a mile of each other. So I went over there and trained, and then obviously trained at Robert Drysdale in Vegas, which was good. But New York's definitely a place for me that I want to go to. So
you should definitely get it. It's so good.
I remember Jack Williamson, Graham McQuiston, a couple other boys went a few years ago, and they came back absolutely raving about it. I think they went and trained at Marcelo's, just because obviously you know Jack, that's his game, so they all went and trained at Marcelo's. But for me, it would be Henzo Gracie. I love Henzo Gracie, so to get the chance to go over there would be absolutely brilliant. So it's fantastic. The good thing is too, the weather's usually similar to here but slightly better. So like the winter, apart from January, February, which is ridiculously cold, like around this time it's, you know, a bit warmer than here. And May, I like the springtime too. It's not because I can't stand the summer. I'm terrible. Even our summer, it's just too hot for me. But around May is a good time to go. It's like nice breeze, warm. You can just, you know, walk around t-shirt, shorts every day. And the gym's not too hot either. Which is good, because when the gym just gets too hot, it's horrible. No, I remember that with Vegas. Vegas was like 45 degrees. Jeez. And you used to walk from one block to the other, which would maybe be 300-400 yards. And by the time you walk from that one, you'd buy a bottle of water. By the time you got to the next corner, you had to buy another bottle, because that one was warm. Do you know what I mean? And that happened at every single corner. I was the same. I'm like, I need to stay in the air conditioning. Do you know what I mean? Because it's horrible, absolutely horrible. So too hot's a bad thing, definitely. And then what about training anywhere else? I mean, is there anywhere else you've managed to get to other than New York?
No, I'm trying to think. I went over to Anaheim to do Nogi Worlds, I think 2 years ago now. So there was one gym that I can't remember the name of it. Me and Shay went to. It was supposed to be, what was it? It was just a rolling class or a drilling class, and then it ended up being a circuits class the day before the Worlds. We ended up doing this mad circuit class where we were like box jumping, throwing around medicine balls. I was just thinking like, why is he taking me to do a circuits class? And then the guys wanted to roll, which was, most of them were doing the Worlds, so they were rolling pretty light, but then you get the occasional one who was like, you know, this guy's come to our gym, we need to smash him. Like, Jesus Christ. But no, that was, apart from, I'm trying to think, no, in America, haven't been anywhere else. I've been obviously to Marcos for the open mat. That was great fun. Even Gillies down in Greenock, been there before for rolling. That's great fun too. It's nice getting to different mats. You know, whenever there's an open mat, it's nice getting to different places. As I said, just to get different bodies in. It helps so much. Just getting to know different people, because there's so many people doing jiu-jitsu, and it's like it's rare that you meet someone who's a dickhead. I found.
There is a few. Everybody knows who the few are, but I mean, jiu-jitsu in Scotland, I mean, that's jiu-jitsu now. I mean, I started around about similar time with you, and there was obviously all sorts of stories going about then, which I was involved in it because of obviously the gym I trained at. So, but then once I moved away from that gym, then obviously I was training with other people.
Yeah.
When I was there, I wasn't allowed to train with other
Yeah.
people. Whereas now I'm getting to train with different people, and obviously Marcos has the open mats. You guys have open mats here. Other people have got open mats as well. So it's, as you said, it's good to train. And I know you've been at I think we've had about 2 or 3, and I think you've been at every one almost. So, and again, as you said, it's different people. When you're training with the same people every day, you know their game, they know your game. Yeah. It's hard to make any changes sometimes, but definitely getting open mats it kind of opens you up. So, and have you seen that throughout your time, the change in jiu-jitsu from 5-6 years ago to what it is now?
Yeah, you can definitely see a difference, even in just the people who train. Like I remember coming up and you'd see all these people who are fantastic in training, then just for whatever reasons, injuries or other things in their life, they end up moving on, dropping out, and the scene just changes so much. And it's a shame when some of the some guys like injuries and that, and they take a step back. It is a shame, but I know what it's like. Or even some people that get married, have children, they just have their own lives to deal with.
And I saw Richard Dixon retired the other week. I saw the post up on Facebook about I
haven't seen it.
He's talking about he's obviously now he's doing well. He's doing well with the property stuff, the shares and all that. He put a post up saying he's not going to be training anymore. So obviously he'll come back. I mean, they always come back. So but I spotted that. So
that's a shame. I remember training with it so much when we first started, and he was just so tiny and wriggly, like Danny Martin or Shay, or even we've got another guy Ben in here now. They're just all so tiny and wriggly, and it's like so frustrating. the level of flexibility.
I can imagine Shay as in I've never seen Shay. No, I must have seen him at some point, but I can imagine being that small. Do you know what I mean? Obviously being a bigger guy, you're like, shit, if I do this, I might hurt him, or if I do that, and then he's just fucking jumping about. Do you know what I mean? So
he's brilliant to roll with. Even if I find, like I've always said to him, you should do absolutes, because even if you do use all your strength games, he's so flexible, he's so technical. He can just keep you at bay.
But then in saying that, there's that thing, if he does absolutes, he can come up against somebody the size of Big Mo.
That's true. I've always said to him, if that happens, just let them pass you down. Just don't get hurt.
But I remember seeing Big Mo fought the absolute Andrew Greet. And he just threw Andrew Greet about and then got him in a Kimura. And Andrew was like, tap straight away. Do you know what I mean? And then, but Big Mo was a scary looking dude. So
I remember I was over in Rome with him doing Nogi Euros a couple of years ago, and he was in the absolutes, and there was this guy on the other side of the bracket, I think he was light feather. And he had faced all his matches were ultra heavyweight guys, and he had beaten them all, and everyone was like, oh, this guy, he's facing Mo, he's gonna beat him. Mo just started playing up to it, like just like mugging off the crowd and stuff, just like a pantomime. And he went in and he ended up beating the guy, but there was one point where he had mount on the guy, and the guy was trying to bring his legs over. And Mo just started grabbing his legs and pushing them to his face whilst he was in and his coach was just screaming at this guy like, tap, it's not worth getting hurt, just tap. It was entertaining.
I seen Big Mo, what was it, a couple of years ago down at the British. And I think it was I can't remember what year, 2016 maybe. And I remember Big Mo came in and didn't have any fights. Turned up. There was meant to be 3 people in his division. Turned up, nobody turned up. It was just Mo himself. And it turned out this guy must have been about 76 kilos. He turned up and there was nobody in his division either. Right, so they said to the guy, the 76 kilo, do you want to fight? He said, I've got somebody here to fight you if you want to fight. The guy's like, I'll fight anybody. And they're like, the guy over there. And he looked at the Mo and went, fuck. You know what I mean? And he went, and it was pretty much the same thing. Mo ended up beating him like, it was 20 something, nothing. Do you know what I mean? And then, but scary guy. He's a very scary guy. What was it like rolling with him? I mean, training with him?
He was always nice. I mean, like, Mo is not a dick at all. Like, you'll roll with him, and I've never seen him, never felt him do, like, anything, out of the ordinary. Like, he's never hurt anyone. I've never seen him put anything on too fast. He's always very gentle. He's very nice, and he'll take it to you. Like, if you're rolling light, he'll roll light. If you want to go a bit more competitive, he'll do that. So he's very aware of his size. Which is, it's always nice rolling with people like that. Like, they could manhandle you if they want, but they don't. We always looked up and thought, I'd love a roll with Mo. Just because the size of him, you're like, do you know what I mean? I know I got my ass kicked, but it's the experience, do you know what I mean? So, and to get the chance to roll with him every day, brilliant, do you know what I mean? So,
And then what was the other question? Kami, the train.
Oh yeah, the train. So I was on my way to work because I live over in Knightswood now.
Yeah.
And that day I was supposed to be coming in to train midday because I've got this deal with work where if I want to come in and train midday, just work back the hours.
Yeah.
So, but I was running late for the train, so I ended up running, and it was just there. So I was like, oh, brilliant, I'm gonna make it. But then I got to the door and it started closing. I was like, oh fuck! If I miss this train, I'm gonna be late for work, and there's no way they're gonna let me go and train because they're gonna be like, no, if you turn up late for work, you can't go train.
Yeah.
So I saw that it had on the door for the conductor, it had two handles.
Mm-hmm.
As I was thinking, I had like 3 seconds to think about it. It's like either I jump on and make work, or I don't, and I miss work. So I was like, fuck it. So I jumped on, and I was holding on until the next stop, and I'd forgotten how fast trains go.
Yeah.
So I was like, but I knew there was between, because everyone was like, you could have died, and I was like, no, I knew between this station and the next station, there's a large gap between the two trains, so a train coming by wouldn't have hit me. But it ended up, the woman who also ran for the train with me, she instantly, when she saw me jump on the train, she instantly whipped out her phone and just started filming the whole thing. So there's a video of me that went around on Twitter and Facebook on this train, like in a purple hoodie and shorts, like completely not conspicuous. But Reese McKieran ended up seeing it, and he sent it to me. He was like, "Is this you?" And I was like, "How did you see this? Like, I can't believe this is going around the internet." But so I ended up at the next station, jumped on the track, came on, went into the train, and then like the conductor came in and was shouting like, "Who was it? Who was on the?" And then they're like, "Was it you?" And at that point, I was like, "I feel like I've been caught." So I was like, "Yeah, it was me." And they were like, "Right, you need to get off. We need to take your details. You can't be doing this." And I was like, "No, I can't get off the train. That's why I jumped on the train. I need to be on this train. I need to make work." And they were like so shocked by my response. They were just like, "Okay, fine, whatever." And it's like, oh, at least I got away with it. But yeah, it was actually pretty fun. I'm gonna try and do it again. But it's so exhilarating being on the side of the train and it's just all the wind blowing in your hair. It's pretty nice.
I don't think I would have done. I would have missed training.
I really wanted to make it. I don't know why. I could have just trained. I'm sure I could have just trained after work. So I don't know why I was so insistent on making that session. It was so dumb. But it worked out being fun. And Dean Riley, he always tells the story that I was in hand with a cafetiere making coffee at the time. And that rumour went around everywhere and people were believing it. They'll come up to me and be like, "Were you really making a coffee on the time you were on the train?"
I can imagine Dean's like that, just add things on to it. Because again, we were in the gym there and Dean was saying, get him to tell you the train story. That's madness.
Oh, I know. Luckily, nothing ever came of it. But if there are any officers listening to this, this is all an alleged story. I may or may not have done it.
Man, would you have done it again?
At the time, I definitely would have.
It's that split second though. We're just thinking like, what do I do? Do I grab them rails? Do I stand there, or do I wait for the next one? Do you know what I mean? If I wait for the next one, I miss training.
Yeah.
So
exactly. I thought, it was worth it at the time. Like whenever, and I always feel like if I can make training and there's like an obstacle there, I might as well just get through it. It's like, remember when it snowed really heavily, was it last year, and everything shut down? I had to walk from my place, which is like an hour and 50 minute walk in the snow, and it's, it's fucking like knee deep. It was just freezing. And then you get here, and turns out the toilets aren't working, there's like shit all backed up because everything's frozen. But and there's no heating, so it's absolutely freezing. And you're thinking, was that worth it after all that?
That's mad. Do you know what I mean? The things people do to get the training.
I know.
Because obviously I've heard some stories.
People,
especially snow time, where they're driving in, they get stuck to come to training for an hour, and then they're stuck in the car for 4 or 5 hours and things like that. So I've heard stories like that, but train story.
Stephen, coming back from No-Gi Worlds, because I hadn't trained in a few days, and I was booked to be on a flight that would arrive after rolling, but they're like, "Oh, there is a flight that's will get you there beforehand, so I could make it." And I was like, "Oh, it'd be nice to roll because I haven't trained in like 4 days since the No-Gi Worlds." So I thought, all I need to do is, I can't remember, it was like 15 minutes I had to get off of this plane and onto another plane. So I was running through Heathrow with this giant heavy bag on. I had to like get through security, like, you know, make like people, I was like, oh, can I just get to the front? I really need to make this flight. And I'm like, oh, okay, go to the front. And I got there just as the door shut, and she's like, nope, you can't go. And I was like, please just let me go on. I was just saying, come on, just open the door. I was like, this always happens in films, just open. And she's like, nope, the plane is leaving. I was like, fuck. So then I had to wait another 3 hours for a plane. I was like,
did you not grab the rails on that one?
Oh shit! Yeah, that would have been the best, like Tom Cruise in Mission Impossible, just holding onto the side.
Man, nah. See, I've never done anything like that. I've never done anything like that. I can't even. Now when we go to comps, we just have a laugh. We always, you'd probably say, do you know what I mean? You'll enjoy yourself. Yeah, it's a good experience, and then obviously you get to go out and fight and stuff like that. So we usually go with the same 4 or 5 people. So it'll be like me, Marcos, Thomas, Peter, and Marco Lazzuri, and the 5 of us go, and we always have a stream. We've got nicknames for everybody, which I don't know if you do that with some of the people you go with, but we've got Marco Lazzuri, we call Johnny Drama, because if anything bad's going to happen, it's going to happen to him. He was at the Euros and got thrown through a billboard. Jeez. He was on the mat, rolling, and he got thrown through a billboard and hit a wall, and they brought the medics on and everything. We are sitting going, fucking Marco, get up, come on, you're fine. And they're talking to him in Portuguese, like, da 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 da, and he's like, I don't know what you're saying, I don't speak Portuguese. So, and then we've got blonde Thomas. Thomas says he'll be talking to people, and he'll be having a conversation about something completely different from what you're talking about. So everything he does is like totally blonde, you know what I mean? So we always have a laugh. So what about any other funny stories that you guys have had, whether it be with Shay or anybody else?
There's times, you know, going to comps and like I remember it was a comp a couple of years ago, back at White Belt. It was like me, Sean Taylor, Cameron and Jakob were driving up, and on the way back, Sean was just in a terrible mood. Sometimes he gets so grumpy. He like eats so much sugar and he crashes and he just becomes miserable. He just wanted to get back home, and he was the one driving. And we were like, no, we want to go to Krispy Kreme. Like, we've competed. Like, we're in Edinburgh. At this point, there's no Krispy Kreme in Glasgow. So like, we want to get to go. And he's like, okay, you know, we finally convinced him into it. And then he had a flat tire, just on the road, got a flat. And he's like, I need to call AA and all this. And we were just like, oh, but we still get to go to Krispy Kreme, right? And he's like, I have a fucking flat tire. Like, you're not going to Krispy Kreme. And we convinced him to drive to Krispy Kreme with a flat tire. And he was just miserable the entire time. He was just so angry with us. I don't even think he got anything. I think he wanted to go he was like, oh, there's a KFC nearby, I'll just go to that. And then he got there and it was closed. And he was just fucking furious. And it's brilliant. Whenever he's miserable, me and Cameron will just try and wind him up even more. And he gets so grumpy. There was, I know Shaz was on, I don't know if he mentioned this. I wasn't with him, I was at the comp. It was one of the like IBJJF British comps. And I didn't drive to the comp with him, I just got the train, but he arrived there and he was telling me how he went over, when he was making his way over, he saw someone getting stabbed. Right. And then the police stopped and he had to go to court like in 2 months. I was like, a typical London. I was like, this is why I hate going back to London. It's just people just having get stabbed. I'm trying to think if there's anything else. I remember Cameron he reminded me to tell one, but I've forgotten it now. That was it. There was one with Jen, because he had forgotten to tell this when he was on. We had went down with Jen. She'll be furious that I've told this. She was going down to have a match with Fionn a couple of years ago. Right. And she was really nervous because obviously, you know, Fionn's amazing. She's really nervous, stressing out. And Cameron was like, oh, it's fine. No, let's just. She was like, I want to do a warm up. We'll just get some drilling in and that. And I think she was in half guard with an underhook. And she was just like moving about, and Cameron was like, oh, you know, from here, if you just do a limp arm, come over the back, you're on my back. She just turned it and was like, why would you tell me that now? I have a match in 20 minutes. Why would you try and teach me a new technique? What is wrong with you, Cameron? Just getting so angry. You could just see him like go silent. Just like, I was just trying to help. She just goes so angry with him, just wouldn't talk to him again until after the match. And then on the way back, she was, you know, not in the greatest mood. She had lost to Fionn. She was a bit, you know, she was not too bad, but not in the greatest moods. And then Sean was trying to cheer her up. So his idea of cheering her up was on the way back, 4.5 hour journey, singing at the top of his lungs, singing every song he could. So like there was like he was playing Lion King songs, just singing. And she was just infuriated. Like after he got out of the car, she was like, "Why would he sing for 4.5 hours? He's just ruined this journey for me. This has been an awful day." It was brilliant though. Just inadvertently just winding her up.
Yeah. Oh, no, I love competition days. Because competition days bring up. Do you know what I mean? You can go there and it can all be plain sailing, but then as you say, do you know what I mean? Things happen on the way.
Exactly.
Do you know what I mean? Stops that you make or people you speak to and stuff like that. And it's always hilarious. Do you know what I mean? So I remember going with Marcos to our first competition, and I like to when I'm fighting, and I like to look on Facebook and find out who I'm fighting, and then I like to send them messages. I don't know if you do that, right? But I send them messages because when I go in, I'm a 5'4", 5'5" super heavyweight, right? So when I go in, usually the guys I'm fighting they're all 6 feet plus. Do you know what I mean? So they're big. Martin Smith, in fact, I fought him back in the day. So that's the type of guys, the size of guys I fight. So for me to get an advantage, what I do is I wind them up on Facebook for weeks beforehand. Just because, and the way I don't know if this is a crazy way of thinking about it, but I get them angry because anger's an emotion, and you can't fight with emotion. Do you know what I mean? Or you can fight, but clouds your judgment. So that's what I think. So we went down first competition, and I remember Marcos was the London Open. We went down. I was fighting a big guy, Chris Morgan, big blue belt.
Oh yeah, I've heard of him. I've met him a few times.
Getting 6 feet something, looks like Jimmy Neal. Right? So. And I remember for 2 weeks before it, sending messages like, "I'm coming to get you, I'm going to do this." Every time he put a post up, and I'm like, "No, you're no, I'm going to do this, I'm going to do that." So we get to the hotel, and I looked in the car park, and I'm like, "It's a fucking Chris Morgan's car." Right, so I'm going to go and find out what hotel room he's in. I'm going to go and chat the door. And Marcos like, no, come stay here. Don't go around the hotel. And then at 7:30 in the morning, I'm taking pictures beside his car like that. And sending it to him. Like, I'm in the car park. And we got to the venue, and he was there with maybe about 10, 12 of his team checkmark guys, and they were pissed. They were angry. They were like, "What did you do at the car?" I'm like, "No, I've never done anything at the car. I just took pictures," but they were absolutely pissed. They were like, "We're not going to get you." And Marcos is standing there. It was me, Marcos, Peter, and there was about 10 or 12 of them. And Marcos is saying, "Stuart, you better go out and beat this guy, because if you don't, we're going to get our ass kicked." So, and I went out, fortunately enough, I won. But then it was no animosity. It was just, as I said, he was just, I remember him speaking to me after, and he said, "Stuart, see, every time my Facebook Messenger message came up, I was thinking, oh my God, not another one." Do you know what I mean? And it was just relentless for 2 weeks. And Marcos was like, "That's brilliant, but when you get to the venue, just stay calm, Stuart." Because I don't get nervous. I get, do you know what I mean, excited. I'm like,
pumped up.
Do you know what I mean? And I'll be at the venue at like 9, 10 o'clock in the morning. Like, it was my guy. I want to fight you. So, and I'm just excited to be there. Do you know what I mean? And I go out, and then sometimes you win, sometimes you lose, but it's always fun. But as I said, Marcos was like, "I'm never going to a competition with you again, Stuart, never again." But he's been a few times now, so so it's always good for him to see it. But he'd never experienced that. He was always like, Marcos is dead. He goes in, he's focused, he's calm, he's relaxed. He goes out and does his thing, and then that's that. Whereas he's got like fucking me and Thomas jumping about like, so just the complete opposite.
That's brilliant. I remember there was this one time I saw Cameron was saying Kev left a message about the time I had, it was at Blue Belt. I'd had a lot of coffee. Like I asked them, I can't remember who it was. I was like, "How long until I'm on?" And they said, "Oh, you've got like an hour and 20 minutes." Like, brilliant. I started drinking my coffee now. Ended up just drinking it all. It was like 2 cups, and then they're like, "Oh wait, change the schedule. You're on in 5 minutes." I was like, "Oh fuck." I was just like, "So I need to go to the toilet," I was thinking, and then I was like, they were like, "Oh no, actually you're on right now," and I was like, "Okay, just gotta go on." During the match, I ended up coming up on a single, and as I come up on the single, I fought, but I shit myself at the same time, and I realized I'm wearing a white gi. If anything starts leaking, this referee's gonna DQ me. I was like, shit, I need to finish this match as soon as possible, which luckily I did. And then I had to run to the toilet, and everyone was like, "Oh, where are you going?" Like, I was like, I shat myself. I need to hope I've got spare. I always bring spare boxes, luckily, because I'd heard stories. Because even I always knew, like, being in here, because out of the 5 times I've gone out, been joked out, 3 of the times I pissed myself.
Yeah, right.
I like just had a full bladder, so I've always like got spare boxes. I think it was the first time was with Callum Hunter like 3-4 years ago.
Yeah.
I remember going out, coming to, and like waking up, and the first thing I thought was, oh fuck, I've pissed myself, and I was on top of him. So he would guillotine me, I was on top of him, and then we couldn't tell what, because he sweats so much now.
Yeah.
We couldn't tell what was sweat, what was piss, and like, and there was another time with Jakob where he was just drilling an arm triangle. He was like, oh, you know, is this on? I was like, no, it's not on at all. And then I remember coming through and thinking, oh shit, I've pissed myself again. It's just, it seems to always happen, but I've always got a full. So now I'm more careful when I'm rolling. As soon as I can feel my bladder getting full, I'm like, I'm going to the toilet just in case. But luckily, it's not happened since.
Yeah, I've heard that it does happen. Yeah. I mean, I've heard many stories about things like that. Do you know what I mean? So. But yeah,
like you see videos as well. I remember one going around. There was like a guy that he was wearing shorts, and you could see it come out of his shorts. It was fucking dreadful.
Well, the one I seen was the MMA, the woman.
Oh yeah, on the
TV. Yeah, and you were like, what? I think it was the UFC, and they docked her money because of it. Do you know what I mean? You're like, what? How the fuck can you dock her money? Do you know what I mean? It's just an accident. It's natural. Do you know what I mean? It's just an accident. So, but I remember she ended up getting docked 10% of her pay and things like that. So. But yeah, it was it's horrible, but it does happen. It does happen. And then for you, then obviously you're now a purple belt. What's obviously you mentioned you've gone to the no-gi worlds and things like that. So what's your vision for the future? What are you looking to do?
Just compete more. This year's been a bit of a slog for competing. I started getting these weird chest issues back in January. I had a chest infection. Then just started getting all these weird pains. Just kept getting worse. And doctors were like, we have no idea what's wrong with you. They thought it was a heart issue because I had heart issues as a kid. And it was just getting to the point where like I would roll or compete was worse, and like I'd feel like I was about to black out. Like I just 2 minutes in, I'd feel like I'm gassing out, about to pass out. I could feel my heart going crazy. And then rolling was as bad, like couldn't catch my breath. And then it turned out it was just asthma. Asthma had come back from when I was a kid. Apparently you can have a really bad chest infection and asthma can come back. So it turned out I had exercise-induced asthma. Gave me inhalers. It got better. Then it started getting worse again. Then they gave me lately these pills, Monteclair sodium, I think it is. And it's just fantastic now. It's like back to normal, like no issues at all. So ideally just get back to competing more. Because I haven't done much this year. I think I've done 4 comps. Maybe 2 tournaments, 2 matches. I think that's it. So get back to competing and just keep training. Ideally, I'm looking to start coaching more as well. Like Paul's been throwing stuff my way, so like been doing some classes recently.
Out with Cammy as well.
Whenever Cam is away, I'll take the classes. Or if there's it helps over there that there's 2 of us, so he may have one a technique to show, and then I'll show one, and it just helps for the guys. They've always got 2 different options, especially because me and Cameron, our games are completely different. So it's like with Gaz and Paul, they're completely different games. So everyone gets to pick up different stuff. So ideally start coaching more as well, because it's good fun. Like over there, I got so used to it, and then coming in here, it's completely different. Like coaching, at a place where you started training at. But it's always good fun, especially when you can see people actually picking up stuff, learning. It's so enjoyable. And then you realize you're like, an hour just goes by so quick, and you realize like, oh, I'm getting paid, an hour to coach, and I don't even feel like I'm doing something. Obviously, you are doing something, but it's such a pleasurable experience. So I'd say that just coach, compete more, and just keep training.
Coaches are good as well, especially when they do the move in a competition that you maybe showed them.
Exactly.
And you're like, yes, you took it in. Or you think that they've not taken it in class, and then they go out and do it in a competition, or they're rolling in the gym and they pull the move off, and you're like, wow, I thought you weren't paying attention. So that's always good, Joe. So, and is that something that you'd want to do more of in the future, coaching and things like that?
Yeah, hopefully just keep that'd be the goal, because ideally, it's not really fun working, so it'd be nice to just get more coaching opportunities, and eventually just switch to training full time. That'd be the goal. Obviously that, because even now, like with work, it's like the main reason I want to get money is just so I can go to New York, really. Like I don't mind being poor. It's just it's nice saving money and being able to go to New York, but then at the same time you think that you go over there, obviously you get to train with the best in the world, but you're going over there so you can train, you know, full time.
Yeah.
Whereas then you think, well, wouldn't it be nice to just do that back at home?
Yeah.
So it's that weird trade-off. But no, I do really enjoy it.
Yeah. And are you still at university at the moment?
No, I ended up leaving. I hated my course.
Right.
I you know, even after the first year, I thought I was just being lazy. Like, I stopped going in and stuff. And I started training jiu-jitsu more, and then I realised, oh no, I just don't enjoy my course. It's not I'm being lazy, I hate it. There's no reason for me to be doing it. So I ended up leaving, but then it turned out when I said, you know, when I emailed them and said, oh, I'm leaving, they were like, oh yeah, actually you were kicked out 3 months ago. I was like, oh right, I didn't even know that. But that works out well. Yeah.
What was it you were doing at uni?
Politics, which I know why I was doing it. It came to the last minute where I was like, I need to decide what I'm going to do. Yeah. And I'd been watching 24 loads, and I was like, politics seems like it could be fun. I was like, I know it's going to be nothing like it is in 24, but just maybe. It's the dumbest way to choose a course. Instead of just doing something I was actually interested in. Yeah. Like even I remember the time being really interested in history, and I should have just chose that. But I thought, I'll just do politics, and then I just ended up didn't enjoy it. Also, I found a lot of the people at uni, I didn't enjoy, like my friends that I met in halls and that, you know, loved spending time with them, but the people in classes and that, I didn't enjoy the environment. Yeah. I'd come in, once I started doing jiu-jitsu, I'd come in here and be like, this is what I want to do, and this is great fun. Yeah. It's different. I mean, I know my boy, he's still at uni, Eunice as well, who trains here. I don't know if he's still training here, but occasionally. But he says, I'm training all the time, and you're like, so, but obviously I find out that he's not. So they're at uni. I think TJ's in his last year, master's year or whatever, so he's again the same thing. He went and done sports engineering, because at the time he was into sports. But then I think about 2 years in, he realised to get a job in this is actually very difficult. So he's like, so now he's stuck with the course. And see what happens with him. Eunice, I think he's doing similar chemical engineering or something like that. So, but again, I don't know if he's still going to uni or not. So, Eunice was funny because his mum. Eunice calls me uncle. Because his mum came over. She came to the gym one day. She's like, I want to meet this guy Stuart that's driving you all about. Do you know what I mean? With his son. So I want to meet him and find out what kind of person he is. And she came in and she was talking about me. She's like, I want you to look after him. And I was like, no, don't worry about that. So I want you to make sure he's behaving and stuff like that. She says, that's fine. And she's like, I want him to call you uncle. And I was like, what? And I was like, what does this mean? And Eunice pulled me aside, and I think his mum's from Iran, and Eunice said, when a person from Iran says that, it's like a sign of respect that they want you to look after me and treat you like a family member. So every time I see Eunice, he's like, uncle, I'm like, nephew. So it's good to know he's still training occasionally. So and then I actually saw him the other day in Pure Gym. I saw him in there, and he said he's been going there a lot recently as well.
Because I know he did the charity boxing thing. I know he did that, and then Eunice, like competition, I remember taking him his first competition. It was the UK Juniors. So it was TJ went and Eunice went, and I still got the video. There was one where Eunice was down 4 points, and there was literally 20 seconds left, and the guy was running away from him. Right, so Eunice is chasing him down, but he's not running after him, but he's just kind of walking, and you see the way he's walking, and he got the guy, and he pulled the guy into the guard. He then sweeped him and ended up in the mountain on the sixth floor. I'm like, it's Eunice. So, and obviously TJ as well, he did his thing as well, but the two of them together, I mean, they came up very similar to you were talking about, you and Sammy. So they two came up together. So
it's always good having that. It's a big help.
I know TJ was up here for a while, but he's given up as well. He's fucking back problems and stuff like that. So, and then you mentioned you're working. What is it you do?
I work in a letting agency. Right. So it's nothing exciting. You get loads of crazy people calling up, which is exciting. That's the fun part. A lot of like people in work, they hate it when all these crazy people are calling up, and sometimes it can be boring, but I love it when crazy people call up, because it's so much fun dealing with them, just listening to the stuff they say. It's just insane. I work in the maintenance department, so it's always angry people calling up, like, my fridge hasn't been working for 2 hours. It's ridiculous, and you're just like, shut up. Like, you haven't had a fridge that, oh no. Or like, so I got a call the other night. Someone was like, they said the oven and broke the night before, so they had to get takeaway, and now they've got food poisoning, and how are we going to reimburse them? I was like, we're not. That's you got food poisoning, that's nothing to do with us.
Yeah.
It's not your landlord's fault you got food poisoning.
That's brilliant.
I know, so many ridiculous calls.
What do your guys and what do they think about your jiu-jitsu?
Oh yeah, they were all, like, my boss was, he really was, like, my interview, it was a strange interview because I went in, like, first interview for a job I'd ever had, and he ended up not talking about anything or work or uni related. He was like, oh, your ears, and I was like, oh yeah, jiu-jitsu, and he's like, oh, tell me more about this. And he was so interested and fascinated by the fact that I did a sport. He's like, you're hired. He's like, if you're dedicated to your sport, you'll be dedicated to work.
It's definitely true.
Yeah. And then people at work there really understanding of it, you know, like they don't mind me going away to train and stuff if I need to. Like, obviously if we've got enough staff, they'll be like, yeah, go and train, just work your hours back. Yeah. So it's pretty relaxed in that sense, which is good. And what about family, friends and stuff like that? What do they think? I think my dad he still thinks it's ninjutsu. Right. Just trying to, I've given up and trying to explain to him. He's even seen me compete. He came down when I was competing in Brighton. Yeah. And I don't think he has a clue what's going on. So my mum, she's better with it. She'll, you know, like, I can talk to her and she's somewhat, like, understand. Like, if I'm saying, like, oh God or something, she'll understand. Yeah. She's like gone out of her way to watch some of it to, like, so she knows. But friends as well, a lot of my old uni friends, because, like, now it's a shame, like, I'll be too busy to, like, go and hang out with them, which is, it's just an unfortunate thing that ends up happening. But they understand, and they're always happy, like, you know, they'll be like, oh, you look like you're doing really well and stuff like that. So they really understand. And even when I was living with two of my friends from uni, like, I was always out training and stuff, and so they were always inquisitive. Nice. And then, last question. Yep. If it wasn't for jiu-jitsu, what would you be doing? I think I'd be not enjoying life. I don't think. I think I'd be I'd be working, hating it because I've got nothing else to do. I think I'd be playing video games a lot. That's a common one, right? Yeah. I remember Kev McAloon said that. I think Cammy mentioned it as well. So a few people have mentioned it. So video games seem to be popular. I know. I used to love it. I just sit up playing all night, especially, you know, get Xbox Live. Yeah. And you'd be talking to friends and they're just playing all night long. So I think I'd be doing that and eating so much food. Yeah. Just because I love eating anyway. But the good thing about training is you just burn so many calories, so you can eat more. So, like, you remember we met in Cosmos for the podcast, and then tonight me and Cameron are going to Beijing Banquet over in Renfrew, because we keep driving past and everyone's like, oh, it's really good. So like, oh, fuck it. I've heard good stories about it. So hopefully, because one of my friends, he's coming along, Ben, and he's never really had too much Chinese food, and he's like, this, you know, you look at a Chinese menu and there's so much to choose from. You're like, where do you start? And we're like, well, go to a buffet, find out what you like. So I think it'd be that, just video games and eating. That would be my life. Nice. And then obviously for guys training with you, you're at the GripHouse. Obviously at Paisley as well. IXL. So Pro Life. So obviously you can catch that on both or on Facebook. So Facebook, Instagram, all of those. So if anybody wants to train with Nathaniel, obviously Nathaniel will roll with anybody, regardless weight, belt, anybody at all. So we noticed that today. As I said, obviously I had rolling with everybody today, kick my ass over and over again. So but it was enjoyable, absolutely enjoyable. And then, as I said, I know we're having the open mat, which obviously first of December. So I'm gonna, at that point, we're talking about doing the awards. I know you weren't in for an award this year because you mentioned obviously you've not done much this year. So been hardly active. But we've got some winners, a couple of guys from the GripHouse won. So we're going to announce that hopefully in the next couple of weeks, get the trophies. So but 1st of December, pop along. I know the guys always love to see you when you come in. So that's a Sunday, isn't it? Sunday, So I think it's usually 1 till 4, so 3 hours. So it works on that, because I remember last year, I think we came here in the morning and then went over. And it works out nice. But the guys, you know the level of guys that come around. It's the same for you guys on Boxing Day in here. Similar as well. So obviously, guys, anybody that's about on Boxing Day, burn off that Christmas dinner. It's 2 hours of rolling. It's great fun. It's every year, you know, it's so much fun. And as you said, you get guys in. I remember last year it was people from Aberdeen, stuff coming down. So it's always good.
Yeah, you guys do it for charity as well, yeah?
Yeah, there's you can pay however much you want. I think it's like minimum £5 and then pay however much you want. And some years they're raising like over £1,000. I think sometimes close to £2,000. Yeah. And they give it to one of the local charities.
Yeah, yeah.
So it's always good.
Nice. Well, listen, Nathaniel, thank you very much.
No problem.
Been an absolute pleasure.
Thanks for having me on.
And yeah, I mean, we'll catch up with you at some point.
Yeah,
some other roles in.
Yeah.
Hopefully I'll get a bit of fitness back and then I'll give you a good run the next time.
Yeah, definitely.
All right,
Thanks very much.
Thank you very much. So guys, that was Nathaniel Montgomery. Nathaniel Montgomery is a purple belt under Garry, Christie and Paul McVeigh at the GripHouse. Nathaniel, as I mentioned, at one point was probably one of the best blue belts in Scotland and possibly even the UK. Nathaniel always puts himself on the line, competitions and even submission only competitions as well. So again, I was in the GripHouse, obviously training, did an open mat with him before we did the podcast, managed to get a roll with Nathaniel, and yeah, got absolutely bullied. So it was good fun though. It was all in good fun. As I said, it's always great getting rolls with different people, and Nathaniel's very, very technical, very strong, a lot of top pressure, good on the bottom as well, fantastic sweeps. And yeah, it was absolutely brilliant. I think he managed to tap me 3 or 4 times during the round, which is absolutely, for me or any jiu-jitsu guys, I mean, getting tapped's not an issue. But yeah, fantastic guy to roll with. Great partner for, or great training partner for his teammates at the GripHouse. And even as a person, me coming in from a different gym, as I said, he was a great training partner as well. And it was good. Obviously, he trained specifically no gi. Does have the gi that you can go back into, but majority of his jiu-jitsu now is in the no gi. We rolled no gi. I don't roll any no gi at all. But as I said, I don't mind rolling no gi. So, but yeah, great person. As you heard, he had some hilarious stories about him being on the road. Obviously they went into a bit too much detail about obviously shitting himself and pissing himself and things like that. But yeah, I mean, he's very, very open, so it was good to hear obviously a little bit about his journey from when he started to where he is now. And listen, we're definitely going to hear more and see more from Nathaniel in the coming years. So keep an eye out for him, guys. Even if you're at competitions, Nathaniel's very, very approachable. You can go over, say hello to him, and yeah, as I said, he'll have a chat with you about jiu-jitsu or anything else. So definitely keep an eye out for him at comps in the future. So guys, thanks for listening, and we'll see you on the next one.